What's going on with Derek Carr? So
stinks.
So everyone hates him. Yeah,
It feels like everyone hates him.
all the family.
what's that all about? What is? It always got real loud yesterday.
By multiple different.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
It got real loud very quick. I learned a lot about Derek Carr, like in a matter of just like Michael Thomas, obviously former teammate. Derek Carr came out and said, after all of my teammates that I've had, Michael Thomas and I just never been able to get on the same page. He said, I tried to reach out, talk to him. I've never heard like Derek Carr knows he and Michael Thomas aren't in a good spot. But like the tweets he put out, and then Chris Olave's brother was putting out some like, hey man, what Mike saying? And it's like, I don't think I've heard that much. That was a wild turn of events. Like it was a pretty crazy day. Obviously you lose to the Panthers, this type of thing, code red, seemingly SOS. But Derek Carr, he had to answer questions about, hey, did you try to fucking throw this guy into a concussion? Or, hey, no, ex-teammates fucking hate you. You know that? How do you lose to the Panthers? Like, that is, I guess that's the job of a starting quarterback, but it's like, that had to be one of the worst days for Derek Carr's name that I've ever seen. Legit. Just like that.
Post-game, think about that. Post-game, you lose to the Panthers, and you have to answer questions about former teammates talking about you. Yeah, it can't feel good. I don't know where you go from here.
Yeah, Coach Darren Riz, special teams coordinator, now interim head coach.
All right, what was up?
He's friend of the program.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, he came on right to talk about the whole new kickoff situation.
Yeah,
that was him.
He's a dog.
Yeah,
special teams people have had to talk. Our special teams coordinator has to talk to the whole team anyways. Sorry, he got a good pulse of the team. He understands what they're looking for. Don't lose to the Panthers.
Yeah, I hope he doubles as a quarterback coach because they're going to need that too.
Why?
Because Derek Carr stinks. I mean, to add insult to injury, right after the game comes out, hey, you want to know who fucking losing his quarterback of all time is? Well, yeah, it's either Derek Carr or David Carr, depending on what season of their career.
Don't forget Archie.
Well, Archie, yeah. I mean,
he was with the Aints.
Yeah, exactly.
He had no chance.
Yeah, he ain't. Damn. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad day for Derek Carr.
It was.
And the Carr family as a whole, I guess. But if I know Derek Carr, he's going to fucking hop right back on that saddle, and he's going to give it all he's got this upcoming year.
Without a doubt.
They're playing the Atlanta Falcons. It's a big-time game down in New Orleans,
They're gonna
obviously.
Get the bump.
Huh?
They're going to get the interim bump.
Exactly. Should we take that into consideration here?
We should.
No.
Is Olave playing?
What do you mean no?
Probably not.
Oh, no, because he damn near killed him last week. So
there's so much bad juju on that team. Cam Jordan won't even walk into the fucking locker room.
He wanted to walk out of the building with his uniform on, and then he puts sweet. Oh, we just lost to the Panthers.
But we should take it into. I mean, Jeff Saturday got to win. So
Cam's leaving the stadium right there. Leave the locker room's this way towards me. He said, "I can't even fucking look at this team."
Is Derek driving him?
Man, Derek said, "Hey,
Cam, come on, man.
come on! Can you stop filming, please? I got him.
Gave us some good X after." For sure.
Oh, yeah, the whole team.
Current players, some of the Panthers players, like, hold on, man. We have the same record. Motherfucker, like, too much y'all lost to us. Y'all stink, too.
Yeah. There was, they got the Atlanta Falcons coming up. Kirk Cousins buzzing.
Yeah, you think
I mean, they're going to trade all their good players this week. The Falcons are going to fuck them.
This is the second time that Derek Carr has gotten Dennis Allen fired mid-season, both times.
Oh, my God. See, it just keeps getting worse.
Dennis Allen might have gotten Dennis Allen fired, too.
Dennis Allen said he loves New Orleans, very thankful for it. And so I think Dennis Allen probably knew what was going on.
They hate him in New Orleans.
He didn't win a lot of games. And he followed Sean Payton. Sean Payton, if you watch, whenever they played Thursday Night Football, I think, whenever he went back to New Orleans and did all this shit, it's like Sean Payton brought a lot to that city at a time in which they needed it and won. And then he obviously retires on like a Tuesday in the offseason. This guy becomes head coach. Now you're immediately getting judged off of the Sean Payton era. And I know they get along and everything like that, but it has not gone that way. It has not gone well at all. They're up against it salary cap-wise. Team, who knows what's going to be left of it when it gets in there. Who's going to want this gig is like the next question. I'm excited to see who they think it'll be that'll be able to turn it all around. Schefter said earlier, the head coach got fired. That's probably like the first, because then you start thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the
Mickey Loomis,
the barn animal up there at the press conference. It's like, that's kind of what Schefter was like. There's going to be more changes. There's going to be more changes. Everybody down there is probably the New Orleans Saints coach Dennis Allen, who has a pretty terrible record win-loss as the Saints head coach, but loses to the Carolina Panthers, a team that a lot of people thought should be relegated to a lower league in football. They fired a head coach, now special teams coordinator, Coach Riz, who was a pivotal part of the entire new kickoff and everything like that, is interim head coach. You got some tweets coming out from former players, brothers of players. Derek Carr is having to answer questions. It seems to be a full yard sale down there in New Orleans, and it's strictly because the Panthers lost, or how long has this been bubbling down there?
Well, I think it's been bubbling. If you watched that Thursday night game in New Orleans, where Denver went down and won that game, I think there was trouble brewing then. And yesterday afternoon after the game, got the call that this was going to be happening. And, you wait to see if and when it actually does. And this morning they made the decision officially to move on. I think that this had been in the works. They obviously been thinking about it. And Dennis has meant a lot to that organization over time, so it's not a simple thing to do. Never like to see it, but the fact of the matter is that was the direction they were going to go. The team's lost 7 straight games right now. And early on, like through 2 weeks, this was like one of the surprise teams in the league, scored over 40 points in each of the first 2 weeks. Everybody's hailing the team and looking at the Saints, and then it unraveled pretty quickly. So they felt like they had to make a change here.
Okay, so what's next for them? We know their cap situation is always going to be pretty ridiculous. I don't know all the contracts for everybody. Derek Carr, quarterback now. What does the future look like for the Saints? Are we staring down full rebuild? Because they've kind of kicked the can down the road, right, for a long time. They just signed Kamara, I guess, 2 weeks ago to an extension to open up some cap space for next year. But what does it look like for the Saints? And are they going to be very active getting rid of folks before tomorrow? How do you see this going?
Well, I don't think they're going to be very active. I think they're still sifting through it right now, and obviously they have a game this week against Atlanta. I think they're trying to move on with the coaching search. It's not like it's going to be a fire sale here in New Orleans. They have gotten some calls about Marshawn Lattimore, their young, impressive cornerback. We'll see whether they decide to move on from him. I don't think they've made any decision there, and I think maybe it would depend on the offer. But this is a team that obviously has always mortgaged into the future, and they've always been so creative and so smart about doing it. But at some point, you got to pay the bill. And look, when you get a coaching change like this, inevitably there's going to be more change. So we'll see all the change that decides to come to New Orleans. This is the start of, I think, probably a lot of changes. So they got a lot of things in store for that franchise here moving forward.
Obviously, we hope Chris Olave recovers quickly. There's been a couple for him now. That is scary. His Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a few this year. There was one at Ohio State. I mean, he's had a history of this, and it was very troubling to watch that yesterday, him being carted off. Serious deal, and you hope he's going to be okay.
T's and P's, Chris. Do whatever is best for you, brother. Legitimately in that entire thing. And for the Saints, I can't wait to see what they look like next year. I'm sure there's a lot of teams snooping around going, excuse me. We're rebuilding this thing? What are we doing? Tomorrow, you think we're going to be very active before 4 p.m. tomorrow for NFL trade deadline Tuesday, November 5th? The world's talking about it.
Well, I'll say this. There's been an uptick in activity in recent years, and I always expect there to be more activity. I'd be surprised if we got a lot of big names, considering we've already had Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson. I think most of the big names that have been out there have already been traded. Now, could we still get, and are we likely to still get, Zadarius Smith and Azeez Ojulari and a wide receiver, whether that's Darius Slayton or Mike Williams or Adam Thielen? So there's going to be stuff. There's always stuff. And there are teams that believe that they can enhance their rosters, but I'm not expecting Max Crosby or Myles Garrett or some crazy dramatic trade, although that's what's always interesting about all this. What if one of these curveballs comes? I was on the phone with somebody this morning. They're asking me, who's getting traded? I'm like, we go over a few names and just the names that I gave you here. And I said, but I always am curious, worried, nervous about that one curveball you don't see coming. And they said that's what keeps them up. As they're formulating their team, they want to know
it's a
if
general
there's a curveball out there that they should be checking into as well.
Oh, got it. You were talking to a general manager. Okay. Got it. Okay. I didn't know, because you said you were talking to somebody earlier and then you gave them those names. I was like, maybe it's a producer for Monday Night Football Countdown, something like that. And then whenever the response from that person is, we got to look out for that curveball too. It's like, yeah, let's find the seams here.